Hey guys, Comic Boom here to review Hawkman number 8. This is it, guys. We finally get to meet Katar-ol, the inhabitant of Krypton, who is one of the reincarnated souls of Katar-ol, Hawkman himself. We know that Hawkman has lived many lives, reincarnated in different souls, different persons across the galaxy, on different planets and in different times. And when Robert Venditti teased that Krypton was one of the many planets that Hawkman had a past life on, well, of course, everyone was anxiously awaiting this issue just to get a look at this Katar-ol. And in celebration of that, I had to use this particular statue, which I've always loved, showing Jor-El and Laura looking at young Kal-El before he's rocketed off the doomed planet Krypton. And this issue deals with Katar-ol talking with Katar-ol on the doomed planet Krypton as it's slowly being destroyed. And they have a conversation, and it's basically about the Deathbringers, and they talk about some other things that are quite interesting. And bear in mind, the reason why Katar-ol is making these trips through different places in time is that he's trying to figure out a way to defeat the Deathbringers, because as was revealed last issue in Hawkman number 7, the origin of the Deathbringers is such that Katar-ol himself in his original incarnation was in fact the leader of the Deathbringers. He's responsible for the deaths of trillions and trillions of people, and he's basically cursed or blessed, depending on how you look at it, to continue to live continuous lives and ongoing lives until he saves as many people as he originally took in his original incarnation as the leader of the Deathbringers. However, his second in command, of course, is now the leader of the Deathbringers, and we are approaching the second age of the Deathbringers, and they have to be stopped. But how can you stop the Deathbringers? Because ever since the Source Wall was broken, it seems that this seemed to have revitalized the Deathbringers, and they're now back in full force. How can the Deathbringers be defeated now? It's rather interesting here that it's rather interesting that on Krypton, Katar-ol worked with Kara, Supergirl, a young Supergirl. Before Krypton exploded, Kara was a student of Katar-ol, and he basically worked with Kara, and they aiding in the construction of a super weapon that they would have used to destroy the Deathbringers and to defeat them. Now, as it turned out, that when Krypton was destroyed, the weapon is destroyed with it. So there's a sense of tragedy there, that not only was Krypton destroyed, but the very weapon that could destroy the Deathbringers and save the galaxy was also destroyed with Krypton. And so there's a sense of tragedy there. But it sort of teases that if Kara can remember some of the things that she discussed with Katar-ol, her old teacher, if she could, at some point we can maybe expect a crossover between Hawkman and Supergirl. That would be awesome, because right now Supergirl's going through space, and she's currently just battling alongside the Omega Men, defeating the Citadel in a civil war on their planet. And so it'd be kind of cool if Supergirl made her way into the pages of Hawkman, and we had a crossover there where they're battling the Deathbringers, and maybe she can help Hawkman, sort of Katar-ol, if she can remember some of the some of her past on Krypton, where she worked with Katar-ol in building a super weapon to defeat the Deathbringers. It'd be kind of interesting there. I love the little things that they do there, that they're aware of each other's history and that they reflect on those things. There's also some deeply emotional moments here. Fantastic art by Brian Hitch in conveying those emotions. That there's a particular scene where Katar-ol basically is saying that, there are no words to describe Krypton. Katar-ol, Hawkman's basically telling him, look, I'm a journalist. I write things down. I do things maybe a little differently than you did. And Katar-ol basically told him, you don't do that. Keep writing things down. But I got no words to describe Krypton, because it's just so beautiful and so gorgeous. And him saying that reinforced the tragedy of what was lost, as Brian Hitch beautifully illustrates the destruction of Krypton going on behind them all in beautiful 2-page spreads. Just beautifully rendered comic. A comic book that continues to impress and really hit the high notes both on an emotional level and a storytelling level. Guys, I highly recommend you pick up Hawkman number 8. Tell me what you think of it. Until next time, follow me on Twitter at Metropolis40 and hit the subscribe button. And Comic Boom, out.